an irony. My mirror shows the other side of me. All these ones and zeros, nothing in between. But there's so much more to me than eyes can see. Than eyes can see. I'm not binary.
It's pretty cool. So, what's happening with these solar flares? That's what I want to know. I know that Paul Mill has just done a video as well on his YouTube channel about this topic as well. So if you ever want to hear his channeled guidance on this as well, you can go to Paul Mill just through YouTube. And the gist that I'm going to get might be a little bit different. I don't know. We'll find out. But what I do know is there were 17 recorded births. Okay? 17. 17. All happening in one period of time. And this unfolded and NASA recorded it. And does anybody know how many births started heading towards Earth out of 17 births from the sun? Anybody have any info on that? As you're giving that some thought, I'm just going to locate myself on my laptop as well. At first I thought 17 births all coming to Earth? What? Huh? Hello. Everybody's popping on. 16! The last time that we had a huge impact with solar flares, Quebec, Canada, they had power outages in 1989. Did you know that? Like, it was a big deal. And I think I remember it briefly, but of course back then I was so self-absorbed in my own unawakened state that I didn't really pay much attention. Oh yeah, blackouts in Quebec, whatever. But when you awaken and you start to hone in with spirit as to what exactly are solar flares? Yes, we could say they are bursts from the sun, and they can affect. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, did you were there. You were there when that happened, Muriel. So did you notice like the outages? Yeah. And of course they're saying we can see the aurora borealis happening around in certain areas on Earth right now because of these. You do remember the outages? Yeah. So out of the 17 that were recorded, two started coming to Earth. Okay. But there's multiple different solar flares going on over the span of, I mean, we looked at the Schumann resonance unto itself. Now that's recording differently, of course, but there is a lot going on in regards to solar flares that is affecting Earth and the energy coming from the sun. So in me, my intuition, my gut feeling tells me, well, this is more than just a solar flare coming from the sun to Earth. Oh yeah, it's a solar flare coming to the Earth. Yeah, okay. Intuitively, this is indicating to me that there is energy coming from these bursts impacting and affecting the Earth and all of the inhabitants here. And there are a lot of light codes, and that's what I keep hearing from Spirit, is a lot of light codes are coming in from the solar rays, or the sunshine, if you want to call it that, just permeating the planet. So when I was reading up on what NASA is determining in the future, what they're guesstimating through their research is that the solar flares that are coming to Earth, they will pick up in 2025, and we will have a lot more coming to Earth. But then in my mind, I'm thinking, really? But did you predict 17 being shot off from the sun the other day? I think they were probably all quite surprised by that. Now, of course, only 2 headed in our direction. But what I do know right now, if we were to compare what NASA is receiving versus what I'm receiving from Spirit, is that there's a lot of high vibrational frequency permeating the planet right now, helping to transmute the density, also helping to lift and raise us up, helping us feel better, helping us come back around. Yeah. Isn't that very cool, Ariel? Ariel saying there is also energy coming from the non-sun facing side of the Earth, so hitting from the back. Some of the tools show this. Yeah. Very interesting. So what I've come to realize when I'm chatting with Source is Source will come and chat with me when I'm driving my car. I'll have friends in the car with me, and they're feeling like overwhelming energy come in through the top of the car, and then I start channeling what Source would like me to know in that moment. I'm realizing that Source is literally everywhere, and Source is able and capable of making anything and everything really happen. It's literally all everywhere. And when we cross over, we seem to think that our loved ones kind of go somewhere, but in truth, they're just not in a physical vessel anymore, but they can pass through our body. They can come through our chakra system centers. They can communicate through our minds. They can pool their energy and thought forms through our chakra centers into our mind to pick up on telepathic communication. So really, there's really no separation in essence from us and a broader perspective of source frequency or our loved ones. There is no separation. It's all really intertwined. I remember working at this house where I was looking after this woman, and she was having health issues. She ended up deciding to take her own life. And I would go 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. Both of us had had surgeries. My aunt knew of her and thought, well, Kristin can come if you want and help take care of you. She's also just coming out of surgery. She needs a part-time job, slowly getting back up onto her feet. Now, her procedure was different than mine, but hers just didn't unfold as good as mine, I guess you could say. She thought she was going to have surgery done by a surgeon, but he ended up having another surgeon in training work on her. So she was really slow going. And then she went in for a second one to correct what the first one didn't get. And this impacted her mood and created a lot of depression. And there had already been other health issues that she had had in the past and surgeries she had had in the past. So when the day came, she decided to leave. Okay. She decided to end her life. And it was a very difficult time for me with all of this unfolding. I agreed to help look after the house and keep the house clean even after her passing. And that wasn't my role before, but I took on a bigger role just to help out the household at that time. But I remember there were several moments where she came out of this white light to come and visit me in the home. She didn't realize when she was alive that I could do what I do now, because I don't go telling everybody, hey, I'm a medium, I can channel spirit. Although spirit would love it if I did. Spirit would love it if I went and channeled a message for every person I came into contact with, I'll tell you that. But when she came to visit me, she let me know that her husband from the year prior, because she had crossed away a year prior, was now dating someone else, and that she was happy with who he was dating and she was happy with him moving on. And I'm like, I didn't know he was dating someone else. But then lo and behold, the following day, yes, he was dating someone else. And I was really gobsmacked that she let me know this. She came out of this white light and she was dressed in this white, just this white gown down to the floor. Just like, I wouldn't say a gown, it was just like a dress. And my God, was she happy. Like, there are no words to describe how happy she was. And other times she would come to visit. If she saw one other time, she saw an opportunity to see him really up close while I was talking with him in the household one day. And we were just talking. I don't even remember what we were talking about. It wasn't anything important. It was just like me, puttering around the house, keeping it tidy. And she came right through the back of my head and out my eye sockets to see him through my eyes. And she did that for about 10 minutes. So, they don't leave us. They're everywhere around us. And we can chat with them and connect with them anytime we want. But I think it's very interesting how we have these solar flares coming to Earth. And at the same time, source frequency is ramping it up here and shifting our energy here on Earth. And I think that source will use these bursts from the sun in order to infuse us with more light codes through our vessels. That's what I think. And I'm going to double check with Metatron here in 2 seconds. I'm just going to see your comments here. Oh, interesting. Richard's talking about Norway. Yeah, I bet you're going to see the northern lights right now. Holy smokes. Okay, so I'm going to channel Archangel Metatron on this topic, and then I'm going to move right into remote viewing. Okay, so let's see where he is. He's on my right. All right. You know what I see in my mind's eye? I see him just gliding towards the house, and he just comes right through the wall, and then he's right here on my right. Like, coming through the wall is like no big deal for him. It's just kind of cool to see that off to my side. All right, let's see where he'd like to take us. He says that this is correct. The solar flares that are the bursts of energy that are being... The sun, okay, he's coming in with a lot of info here. The sun is being used as a way to, or a tool, if we want to say that, tool, to send more light frequency to the earth and the inhabitants here upon our back in order for us to drink in the high vibrational frequency that is being sent our way. This is all very good for us, he's saying. Very good for, like, the way he's saying it is, this is so good for us. He says if you live in a northern climate and you're not getting as much sunshine, when you do have days with sunshine, please go outside and drink in these rays for as long as you can. He says even 10 to 15 minutes would do you wonders. And he highly recommends this for everyone if you can get out under the sun's rays often, okay? There's other ways that the planet is being bombarded with source frequency. He says with a smile. Other than with the sun's rays. There are large waves of energy that come through space, long distances, and envelop the planet in order to help with this mass awakening and ascension happening here on Earth. And he said that he's saying that everyone here is excited for this time, happy about this time, happy and excited, and that they all feel this is very good for us and humanity as a whole. But not just humanity, everyone, including the Earth herself. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Metatron on this topic before we move to remote viewing? Oh, that's great, Ariel. You've been getting the same message to sit in the sun. And you know, I've had a few readings over the past couple of weeks, and when their guardian angels come through, they're asking them to go and sit in the sun. Go sit in the sun. A couple of times, I do recall channeling that message for a few people. So it was like this urgency of the urgency of getting outside, period, and then getting under the sun's rays is also important. Nothing's ruled out. You're right about that, Ariel. I often think the same thing. Okay, well, this is just what we're seeing right now. But as things ramp up in the future and we have more ascensions, well, as things ramp up, we might have more ascension symptoms. We might start to get what do we want to say, acclimatized to what's happening on Earth. So our ascension symptoms might level off and we might feel more comfortable, but things are going to ramp up. Okay. Oh, that's great, Amy. That's really, really good. How is the Earth doing in her ascension? That's great, great. Much better now. Many souls chose to come to Earth in order to help her and help lift and raise the vibrational frequency here on Earth. And she has shifted energetically, vibrationally, and he's talking about her being much stronger. He's talking about that there are drastic changes that need to be made here on this planet in order to save it. And they will be made. He's just reiterating they will be made. Yes, he's talking about certain things raising in cost and not being viable any longer. And this will help to shift people to look at more eco-friendly possibilities that are, and also more self-sustaining possibilities that are lower in cost. He's talking about solar panels, for example, versus paying for electricity. He's just using that as an example. There are many. Okay. But there are many changes yet to come, which will assist and help the Earth. Each of us must do our part to turn things around. He's talking about those in power just not making enough changes, or it's he's talking about those in power are not making enough changes, and they could help to fund much more and assist, say, Elon Musk, for example, with Tesla, for example. This is just the beginning stages. He's saying it would be much better for the environment. He's talking about global warming, for example. And he says that even the company of Tesla will grow and change over time, even bettering what its product than what it has now. But great advancements have been made in that direction. And he's talking about that the government and those in charge, if you want to say, or in power, could back Tesla much more than they have been, but they've been sending money to other car manufacturers who are polluting the environment. This is an example of those in power, for example, not listening and not turning things around quickly enough. So there have been a few things thrown in the mix to stir the pot. The viruses are one of those in order to shift and make changes here on Earth in more of a rapid way. Because it's really important that we start moving in a different direction quicker. If we just kind of let this kind of saunter along for the next 20 years, for example, and nothing changed, okay, it would be a problem. Okay, so the feeling I get from him right now is there are other things coming that we will be experiencing here on Earth that are going to propel direct change on the planet, and things will move much more quickly and more rapidly. The contrast. Okay. So, and he's just kind of got a slight smile on his face, and he's just letting me know more is coming. And of course, I've heard this from everybody on the other side. So there is a lot more coming. What a lifetime to choose, hey? Yippee! Let's get on the roller coaster ride, but it's greatly needed, so. Yep, there you go, Ariel. Big time. What a great idea. What a great idea. Doing solar yoga out underneath the sun. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah. So anything we should know about, okay, he's also talking about there will be new individuals stepping forward to assist the Earth in the near future. And we are all going to be forced to move in certain directions that are better suited for the Earth rather than just for ourselves. Naively bopping along, doing what we have been doing, that is no longer serving us, ourselves, and the planet. And he means us, not serving us because we live here. And if we don't change things now, it's not going to serve us to live here anymore, because it's not going to, there will be certain things that we will have altered that we won't easily be able to turn around. Okay. But they're going to catch this, they're going to shift us, and they're going to move things more quickly to turn things around. He's talking about there's certain key players. Putin is one of them that is affecting everyone on Earth. Biden is also one of them. And these individuals are certain key players that are he's talking about directly and indirectly, and in a lot of ways unconsciously moving the planet in a better direction with the changes that will be unfolding in the future. He wants to use the gas prices going up. For example, many are selling their gas guzzlers, he's saying with a smile, and they're moving towards electric cars or other alternative forms of transportation. So all of that would not have happened without Putin, for example, okay? And he's also talking about Putin and Biden. So everyone is playing a role for the bigger part, even though they may not realize this at this time. Oh my God. All right. We're jumping into off the deep end there. So